so the program will start shortly. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our third day of the orientation program. I know, we have been saying quite a lot, in the past 2 days, but most of you had questions related to your particular programs, the modules that you're supposed to register for. And as I mentioned yesterday, today we have the academic leaders from your respective schools who are here to assist, with those questions. They will also take you through their programs, what is expected in the programs, as well as the modules that you should register for. So we have Dr. Patricia Shewell, who is from the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance, and she will be supported by Ms. Shelley Donnelly as well, who is from the same school. For those of you who are registered for the Bachelor of Commerce General, we have Dr. Soni, who will be taking you through their programs. And later on, we're going to have Mr. Adrian, who will take you through the Bachelor of Laws program. So for now, I'll hand over to the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance. Dr. Shewell.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance. I'm going to be sharing a presentation with you so that I can take you through the start of our program and hopefully make you all feel a little bit more reassured that you're in the right place and doing the right thing. I'm going to be speaking to the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance. My role in the school is as academic leader, teaching and learning, as Dr. Bengasai has just mentioned. And my deputy in that role is Ms. Shelley Donnelly, and she's going to be talking to you about the Bachelor of Business Science. So let me get started. I'm going to share a presentation with you, and we will try and answer your questions in the Q&A as well. And Ms. Donnelly will try and monitor the questions while I'm speaking, and then I'll do the same while she's speaking later on. So let me share my presentation with you. Right, so as I've already said, welcome to our school. Within our school, for undergraduate students, we have two programs that belong to our school, the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance, and those are the Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting and the Bachelor of Business Science. So if you're joining us this morning at this time, then it is quite likely that you are registering for one of those two programs. Just a note up front that the BCom General is in the School of Management, Information and Governance, and Dr. Soni will speak about that later on. But for now, we're focusing on our programs, which are housed in the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance. So that is your school. Your college is Law and Management Studies, as I'm sure you've realized already with the presentations you've had. And your school is Accounting, Economics and Finance. So if you're here because you are studying the Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting, it's quite likely that you want to become a chartered accountant. You've heard about the chartered accountancy from friends or family members or through your school, and this is your dream. Your dream, so many students who email tell me, my dream is to become a chartered accountant. Well, the first step was getting the entrance requirements, which I'll go over again a little bit later. But you met the entrance requirements, you've been accepted, and you're on the road to becoming a chartered accountant. That road is quite a long road. So you start with your first year, and that's where you are now. You're at the beginning of that road. The second year and the third year are all part of your undergrad degree, okay? So you are registered for a BCom in accounting, and those first 3 years are your undergrad degree. At the end of 3 years, or end of your third year, you will qualify with a BCom in accounting. If you have done well and you've progressed well throughout that degree and you've got a good average, because we can't take everybody into our PTDA year, so it's good for you to know now that you should be working towards the highest possible average that you can over those 3 years so that you make it into our CTA program or the postgraduate diploma in accounting. And passing all 4 modules in the postgraduate diploma in accounting are what set you on that CA route. The ITC is the first board exam, and you will write the ITC in your first year after your CTA year, and then you will do a period of articles. Then you will write another exam called the APC after your article period, and then you'll be a CA. So it seems like a long road. But as I've said, if that's your dream, this is the road you're setting out on today. That is the route to becoming a CA. So what modules are you going to register for this year? I know that a lot of you have questions about the online registration. You're going to go online, and then what are you going to choose? What are you going to select? The first thing to be aware of is the code we use for your program. So the program code for BCom in accounting that you should be selecting, or you should always be looking out for, is BCom-C. That is the current code that we are using for the BCom in accounting. And you always make sure that any proof of registration, anything that you get off the system refers to BCom-C, because that is the degree that you are registering for. So look out for that. That's the code that we give to the BCom in accounting in our online systems. The first year, like most degrees in the university, is semesterized. So what is in blue on this table, you are going to do in first semester. What is in white and gray on the side here, you're going to do in the second semester. However, when you go on to register now online, you're going to see all of these modules, and you're going to be able to select all of these modules. So you're going to register for the whole year up front, okay? When you get to the second semester, there are certain prerequisites, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And so you register now up front. However, if you don't meet those prerequisites, then you will have to be deregistered from the modules in the second semester. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. Work hard so that you meet the prerequisites so that you can move into the second semester. And over the course of this week, and I think over the course of the year, the teaching and learning unit are going to be outlining to you all the support resources that we have for you. And you must utilize those support resources, utilize them early, so that you don't get left behind in your degree. That is the first thing to ensure if you want to, as I say, make progress on that road to becoming a CA. So what are your modules? Accounting 101, Economics 101, which is microeconomics, Math 130, Introduction to Calculus, Stat 130, Introduction to Statistics, ISTN 101, ISTN, Information Systems and Technology for Business. That's your 5 for the first semester. Now, you don't have to be confused about what modules to select, because the BCom accounting is a very structured curriculum and choice really is not there, okay? There is no significant choice in the BCom accounting curriculum. So you're not going to go online and have to decide, do I choose this, do I choose that? No, your majors in the end of third year are going to be accounting, accounting, management accounting, auditing and taxation. No choice. That's what you have to do if you're on this CA route, okay? So there is no choice. When you go online, these 5 modules will pop up under semester 1 for you to tick. You'll tick them all. I said you're going to register as well for semester 2, and this is the only choice that you've got in first year. And actually, it's not really a choice, all right? So you may have heard by now that every student registered in a degree in UKZN has to do Zulu unless they are an Nguni language home language speaker, okay? Or you did Zulu to matric. Now it's quite, in most cases, it should happen that if you did Zulu to matric, you get an automatic exemption posted against your student record for Zulu. And if you are an Nguni home language speaker as well, you get that automatic exemption. And if you get that automatic exemption from having to do Zulu, then you choose academic literacy in English. So the code for academic literacy in English is ACLE 101, and only students who get the exemption for Zulu choose that module. Don't get this wrong. I mean, even the other day I was advising a student who had done the wrong module in first year. Don't get it wrong. You know you're going to get an exemption if you pass Zulu at matric, first or second language. If you passed it at matric, you will get an exemption. Then you need to do academic literacy. If you are an Nguni home language speaker, you're going to get an exemption. You have to do academic literacy. No real choice, okay? If you are not Nguni home language speaker, did not do Zulu to matric, that's when you have to choose ZULN 101. And again, no choice. You have to. You can't do the academic literacy in that circumstance. So hopefully you've all got that right. You can pop a question in the Q&A if you're still a bit confused, but that really is the only subject choice you're going to have to make during this registration period that you are involved in now. The last second semester module is ISTN. It's another information systems module, which we call Development and Applications Fundamentals. So that's your curriculum. As I say, very structured, very laid out, no choices. When you go into the registration system and you click on BCom-C, this is what's going to appear for you to register. So there's very little opportunity for you to get confused, okay? Other than, as I say, with that one choice between ACLE and Zulu. Right. So just a little bit more information to motivate you on your way as you start the journey. I've talked a lot about becoming a CA, and you've heard about CAs, and CAs are what you maybe brought you into this degree in the first place. But there are other possible career opportunities. In fact, there are many if you have chosen this degree. So SICA is the professional body that looks after the CA qualifications. So you've heard about them, no doubt. SIPA, Institute of Public Accountants. There is CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. I happen to be a Chartered Management Accountant, so that's a favorite of mine, okay? I'm just moving this so I can see what's popping up on my screen. ACCA is another internationally recognized professional body of accountants. We have a postgraduate program for SEMA called the Honors in Management Accounting. So when you've finished your undergrad degree, if you don't want to go on and do the postgraduate diploma in accounting, become a chartered accountant, you can do with us an Honors in Management Accounting that leads to the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants qualification. If you want to do the Honors in Accounting that we have here, the Honors in Accounting is separate from the postgraduate diploma in accounting, and that's accredited with ACCA. So we have more than just the one route available to you if you are doing the BCom in accounting. These are SIGAs, the government auditors. There are a number of, as I said, different professional bodies which you can link up to if you start with the degree that you've just begun now. So with all of those different professional bodies, what are the careers that you might follow? You can be a financial accountant, a management accountant, a tax specialist, an internal auditor, forensic auditor. Many students are these days interested in the area of forensic auditing. You can go into banking, business advising and consulting. You can become an entrepreneur, very much recommended in this day and age that you go out and make your own way and start your own business. And then you can be an external auditor as well if you follow the CA route. So many different career opportunities available to you, all starting right where you are at the moment, starting with your first year, your BCom accounting. So what did you have to meet? What entrance requirements did you have to meet to get you to this position? And I'll tell you in a minute why I'm just re-emphasizing this. You have to have your NSC. You have to have core maths level 5 in that NSC. You have to have English and life orientation at level 4. And you have to have a minimum academic point score of 32 points, excluding life orientation. And so if you've been accepted into the BCom in accounting, you have met these requirements. I just wanted to point out that you must have met these requirements to be accepted into the BCom in accounting, and you will not be able to enter the BCom accounting at any stage if you have not met these requirements, particularly the core maths level 5. So even after, if you're in another degree, if you finished first year, second year, you're not going to be able to transfer to a BCom in accounting unless you've got core maths level 5. And I need to make that clear to you up front. Our degree has changed. So I've gone through that degree structure with you. It changed for the students for the first time in 2021, took those particular subjects. So again, if you've got a family member or a sibling that did the BCom accounting a couple of years ago, their subjects would have been different because the Institute of Chartered Accountants is changing their syllabus and we have to keep up with them. So we've changed our syllabus in line with the changes to their syllabus, and our degree no longer aligns with the BCom General. So it doesn't look similar to the BCom General anymore because of the changes that we've made and because of that new first year that you now see. And as a result of that, we are not accepting students into the BCom accounting at any stage unless they've done core maths level 5 at school. So I'm just pointing that out to you now. I'm going to actually turn my camera off now, and I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Mrs. Donnelly, because she's going to talk to you about the School of Accounting's Bachelor of Business Science. Shirley, it's over to you.
Thank you, Patsy, and hello, everybody, and welcome. For those of you who are registered for the Bachelor, or you've been accepted for the Bachelor of Business Science, this is for you. So we have 3 programs, and you would have been asked to select one of them up front. We have the finance program, which tends to dominate the enrollment and graduation. So most of the students do the BBSc F, which is the Business Science Finance qualification. Then we also have the economics qualification, BBSc E, and a new one going live this year is the investment science program, where you will major in finance and statistics. and that's the BBSCI qualification. If you're not too sure at this point which one to select, it's not a huge problem, because the first year is generic for all three. So the curriculum is identical. So just pick one of them now based on what you think you would want to major in. So if you want to follow the finance route all the way through, select the BBSCF. If economics is your interest, select the BBSCE. And if you're very interested in the sort of actuarial, finance, statistics, investment science side of things, then you pick the I qualification. And you can always change that as you go along. So just pick one now. And then, as I said, the first year is generic for all three. And if you find that by the end of your first year, you want to follow a different one to what you registered for, you can always apply to change your qualification. And you do that by asking the college office. Okay, next slide. Thank you. Here we have the entry requirements for the Bachelor of Business Science, which you would have all met. And again, this is really for information for other students who are thinking that maybe they would want to change to the business science at some point. You can't do so unless you meet these requirements. So straight off the bat out of matric, you obviously need a national senior certificate with a bachelor's degree pass. You need core maths at level 6, okay? You need English and life orientation at level 4, which is fairly standard. And you need at least 33 NSC points excluding life orientation. So another level up from BCom accounting in terms of maths, and an additional point in terms of your minimum academic point score. Thank you, Patsy. I think we need to go back then to the first year curriculum. We seem to have missed that.
Sorry.
There we go. So as I said before, your first year is generic. So whether you're doing the BBSCF, the BBSCE, or the BBSCI, this will be what your first year curriculum looks like. And you don't have any choices, so it makes it easy. You just select all 10 modules. There are 5 per semester. So you will do Accounting 101 and Accounting 102 in the first and second semester, respectively. You will do 2 semesters of Economics 1, so microeconomics in the first semester and macroeconomics in the second semester. You will do 2 semesters of the science maths, Introduction to Calculus in the first semester and Calculus and Linear Algebra in the second semester. You will do 2 semesters of statistics, your Introduction to Statistics in the first semester and statistical methods in the second semester. Then you will do 1 semester of Information Systems and Technology, the one for business, ISTN 101 in the first semester. And in the second semester, you will do FINA 103, which is Business Integrated Business Studies, or IBS, which is a very useful, it's like the capstone module for this degree. It's going to take you through academic writing. It's going to take you through all the facets of a business. And you should find that particular module extremely rewarding, although it is fairly time consuming as well. So as I said, that is what your first year looks like. When you go online to register, it should be pretty straightforward because there aren't any electives that you need to select. It's all pretty straightforward. Okay. Thank you, Patsy. So we go to the next one after that. All right, so if you're a little bit career confused at this point, don't worry. Nobody's expected to know exactly where they want to end up. at this stage. You know, you're fresh out of matric, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you're enthusiastic, and you think you want to do what you've registered for. But let's just talk a little bit about the possible career opportunities. And I'm going to be sort of going a little bit into the area of a BCom Gen as well, because in the BCom Gen, as Sanjay will be talking about later, you pick 2 majors in your 3rd year. And in the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance, we obviously, whilst we don't house or own the degree of BCom Gen, we do own, if you will, the disciplines of accounting, economics, and finance. So I'm going to talk a little bit about potential careers in all 3, and with specific focus on the business science programs and where they fit in. So if you think one day you might want to be a financial manager or an investment manager, and let me just talk briefly about these. So a financial manager is the individual that's responsible for the financial health of an organization. And, you know, firms in the private and the public sector need some financial management experience or presence. You could also work for a financial institution, such as a bank and an insurance company, or, as Patsy said before, what this country really needs is for you to be self-employed as a financial or investment consultant, maybe, or an insurance broker, a property consultant, a stockbroker, sort of handling the financial management function within any of those operations. And the advantage to the country of being self-employed is you are in a position to employ people. So you would be an employer rather than an employee of a large organization. What investment managers do is they manage individuals or companies' finances and their investment portfolios for them. So they manage their money with the aim of maximizing profits or returns for those individuals or corporates. Investment managers would usually work at large financial institutions such as banks, trust companies, life insurance companies, and the like. And if those sorts of careers interest you, then you would be, you should be registering for a Bachelor of Business Science, either the F or the I program, so the finance or the investment science programs. Your BCom accounting would also serve you well in any of these fields. And then a BCom general with a major, one of your majors at least in finance. That would be a good degrees to be registered for. Somebody in the Q&A has just raised a very important point that I didn't cover. Just Patsy, if we could just go back to the 1st year curriculum. Sorry, the Q&As are popping up as I'm talking and I'm sort of seeing them.
Yes, I'm trying to keep up as well. There are a lot of questions to answer.
One specific one, and he was quite correct. He's saying that you have a choice in the 2nd semester between Accounting 102 and 103. And in actual fact, I should have put Accounting 103 here. So forgive me for that. You know, Accounting 102 is really for students who are going to be continuing with accounting into their 2nd year, like the BCom accounting students. And you as business science students will not be continuing with accounting. So you should select Accounting 103 there, actually. Thank you for that question. I really should have changed this on this slide. So 2nd semester accounting, please select Accounting 103. Unless you think one day down the line, you're going to maybe want to branch off into accounting and change your degrees or do another degree after this one. But by and large, as a business science student, please select Accounting 103 in the 2nd semester. Thank you for that question, very pertinent. Sorry, can we go back to a couple of slides forward? We've spoken about being a financial or investment manager. Okay. If you would think that you'd like to be an investment analyst, now this is a little bit different from being an investment manager. So these analysts are responsible for providing vital market information to salespeople, to traders, to clients. So when we say market information, about the stock markets, about the property markets, all financial assets that exist. So they'll analyze the financial statements of these companies, they'll make projections, they'll provide a broad range of analytical and research support to all the professionals within their group. So if you're someone who's interested in that kind of thing and you're an accurate person and you pay attention to detail and you feel you've got strong analytical skills to evaluate available data effectively, good research skills, the degree for you would be the Bachelor of Business Science I or F, so the finance or the investment science programs. And again, a BCom accounting would serve you well as well if you perhaps decide one day that you don't want to go go the auditing route or to be a CA, and you're more interested in this kind of career. Thank you, Patsy. And then there are your banking careers, so bank management, if that's where you want to end up. So these individuals are responsible for the functioning of the banks, development of new business. You need to have a knowledge of corporate, retail, and personal banking, so the three facets of banking. You obviously have to have a high level of integrity and a well-developed sense of responsibility. You need to be able to understand and enjoy all financial matters. Empathy with people, good communication skills for when you deal with clients, be able to take initiative, be able to work under pressure, and to be very much service-focused for your clients. Then the Bachelor of Business Science in either finance or economics, so the F or the E program, a Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting, or a Bachelor of Accounting General, majoring in economics and finance. Last slide, Patsy. Okay, and there's some of you who might think that you would want to be an economist or a business economist one day. You know, everybody worries about the economy, and we see economists on the TV all the time talking, using their expertise, describing, analyzing, and advising on a wide range of economic issues such as taxes, wage problems, economic policies, the causes of unemployment and inflation. So that's what economists would do, and business economics specifically would study the ways that society distributes scarce resources, such as monetary resources, labor, capital, and conducts research into issues such as inflation, interest rates, employment levels, fuel costs, etc., imports, exports. There, your degree would be the Bachelor of Business Science Economics program, or a BCom Gen, with one of your majors being in economics. So that's just a roundup of the Bachelor of Business Science program that is housed within the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance, as are the individual disciplines of accounting, economics and finance, which you might select to do in your BCom General, which is housed in another school, which is the School of Management, IT and Governance. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a better idea in terms of which business science program you should be registering for at this point in time. As I said, it's not a train smash if you want to change that going further. You don't have to make that decision right now. Well, you do have to register for one of the three right now, but it's not a train smash if you change, because your first year, no matter which of the three you are registered for, is completely identical. It's only at second year that the curriculum will start changing a bit. So the second year curriculum for economics or finance is the same, but the one for investment science is different because you carry on with maths and stats. Okay, thank you, everybody. And please just remember my name if you're a business science student, and you can contact me anytime. I'll put my email address in the chat box so that you have it on hand when you've got any issues with your curriculum and your passage for the next 4 years as you do your business science. Good luck.
So thank you, everybody, for listening to us. While the presentation continues, we will be looking at the chats and the Q&A, and we will be trying to answer any accounting and business science related queries to the best of our ability. Just as Shelley has just said, my name is Dr. Patricia Schul, and I will be putting my email address in the Q&A as well, in the chat for you to pick up on. But I also wanted to encourage you to use the ukzn.ac.za website. I forgot to mention this earlier when I was chatting to you. We've tried very hard to make it as interactive as possible. And if you click on the registration tab, which is right in the middle of the UKZN page, and then go to the bottom right-hand side, you will see College of Law and Management Studies. And if you click on College of Law and Management Studies, you will find all of the information that has been shared in these sessions. If you're getting a bit lost and you find it's information overload, go and play around on the website. Just click the links and see what's there. There's a fees link with a fees booklet, and all the fees information is there. As I say, College of Law and Management Studies, you click on our link and all the information, our contact details for the School of Accounting, Economics and Finance, but also all the other schools. Contact details are there, student services contact details are there, and you really have nothing to lose. So go and play around on the website, get familiar with the website. You're going to be with us now for quite a number of years, and over that time, I'm sure you're going to have lots of questions. And I always tell students that you will get the quickest answer if you go to the right person first. So try always to go to the right person first. And how do you find the right person? You look on the website. As I said, we've tried very hard this year to make it more user-friendly, and go and see whether you agree, and whether you can find your way around and find the information that you need. It's going to be quicker for you than waiting for somebody to answer an email. So try it out. Don't be scared. ukzn.ac.za and go and see what you can find on our website. Thank you very much, and I'll hand back to Anna now.
Thank you, Dr. Shewell. Thank you, Ms. Donnelly. Before maybe you go into the Q&A, we have a few prizes to be won. So you might want to ask the students maybe a question from your presentation, and then the first person to get the correct answer will get a book voucher for 1,000 rands. So Shelley and Patsy, you might want to ask maybe just one question based on your presentation.
Okay, so maybe my question will be, what is the only choice available to you in the BCom Accounting first year syllabus? Oh, there's... Anna, are you going to grab the first person to get it right there?
What is the correct answer?
Academic literacy or Zulu. Let's make sure that they get the subject names correct.
Okay, so the first one has Zulu or English. That's Simon Hanson. Is that correct?
Should we accept that?
English or Zulu?
Yeah, I think
module
so.
And then they,
we accept English or Zulu. Okay. If we also just
okay, so then
can we emphasize the fact that the subject is called academic literacy in English, but we will accept English, Anna.
okay, so we have Melissa Pinza. She has academic literacy in English and Zulu. So Melissa will get the 1,000 Rand book voucher. And then Simon was the first one to answer Zulu or English. He was going to get a 200 Nando's voucher. All right, thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we move on now to Dr. Soni for the School of Management, Information Science and Technology.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very important information sharing session that we're hosting today. As I'm sure you're aware, I represent the School of Management, IT and Governance. And my task this morning is to take you through some of the important programs that are offered within our school in terms of structure, in terms of other important issues. So without much ado, I'd just like to dive into the important issues that I want to talk to you about this morning. Now, as I said, I represent the School of SMIG, Management, IT and Governance. And before I go on, I'd just like to acknowledge the contributions made by Professor Indira Padiachi in terms of content of this particular presentation. To start off with, I'd just like to point out that in the School of Management, IT and Governance, there are essentially 3 undergraduate programs. We may talk about one more, but essentially there are 3. The additional one is the BCom 4. But essentially we have the BCom, which is the Bachelor of Commerce, General. We have Bachelor of Administration, and we have the Bachelor of Business Administration. And of course, you can add the 4-year program, which is the BCom 4 here for those who do not meet the points to actually qualify for the BCom. Now, all of these programs that I'm talking about here that are listed on the slide can be completed in a period of 3 years. So whether you do a BCom or a B-Admin or a BBA, it should normally take you about 3 years to complete the qualification. If you're doing BCom 4, BCom 4 is completed in 4 years. Now, these programs are offered both on the Pietermaritzburg as well as the Westville campus. And if we look at, for example, the Bachelor of Business Administration, the Bachelor of Business Administration actually forms part of what we call the SFTP, the self-funded program, and it's not part of mainstream lectures. So lectures on the BBA are offered in the evenings. If you're doing the BCom, for example, or the Bachelor of Business Administration or the B-Admin degree, your lectures are offered during the day because they term mainstream programs. So when we talk about during the day, lectures for the BCom and B-Admin degrees are offered during the mornings as well as during the afternoons. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd just like to take you through some of the important information with regards to, for example, the BCom General. Now, for those of you doing a BCom General, for example, that BCom General degree would comprise of 10 modules in the first year. So you have first year, you have second year, and you have third year. In the first year, students would do 10 modules. In the second year, they do 8 modules. And in the third year, they would also do 8 modules. Now, the important point to take note of is that each one of these modules that are done on the BCom would carry 16 credit points. And when you complete the BCom, for example, you would have a total of 416 credits. So in order to get the degree completed, you must have 416 credits of the correct modules. Now, in the first year of the BCom, you would do 10 modules, 5 in semester 1, 5 in semester 2. As I said, each module is 16 credits. So the first year would comprise of 160 credit points. 128 credit points, for example, are allocated to year 2. So if you're a second year student, you're doing a BCom General, for example, you would do 4 modules in semester 1, 4 modules in semester 2, and that would total up to 128 credit points. And in the third year, you would also do 4 in the first semester and 4 in the second semester, which would be your majors. We talk about majors, and I want to talk about that a little more as we move on. So at third year level, you do your majors, and that also comprises 1 to 8 credit points. Now, just to be more specific, if we take, for example, the first year of the BCom General, the BCom General would include modules such as accounting, economics, information systems, management, mathematics, and introduction to commercial law and statistics. So those would comprise the first year in terms of modules, specific modules. What I'd also like you to do, please, is a very, very important point of reference is the college handbook. So you have a handbook for the College of Law and Management Studies, and that handbook would be very, very clear in terms of the different degrees that are offered within the college. So the BCom General, for example, would be one of the degrees that would be outlined in the handbook, and the different modules for that particular degree would be contained in that particular handbook. So my advice to you would be, please look at the college handbook. It's a very, very important piece of information that's going to guide you in terms of choosing your curriculum and things like that, choosing your modules and so on. So in your first year, basically, the courses would be along these lines: accounting, economics, information systems, management, mathematics, introduction to commercial law, and statistics. Your second year would comprise of what we call core modules. So core meaning that you have to have these. So there's no choice. In terms of core modules, one of the core modules is the Management 2SM, which is called Responsible and Sustainable Management Principles. So that's a core module. And students who are not mother tongue speakers of isiZulu, including Siswati, isiNdebele, and isiXhosa, and who have not done isiZulu in matric, are expected to register for the basic isiZulu module. So you would have to do, if you haven't done Zulu, you haven't been exempted for it, you have to do Zulu 101 as part of the BCom general curriculum at level 2. So that is a core module. For those who are exempted from Zulu 101, you would have to take another elective, first year elective, second year elective, as a substitute for the Zulu module that you've been exempted for. So I think that's very, very important point to take note of. In addition, this is very, very important. In terms of second year of the BCom General, students actually have a choice. So there's a whole lot of choices. So the 2 core modules that I've just spoken about, you have to do, but you have a choice in terms of you can choose 6 elective modules from a choice of many, many modules. So that's very, very important to take note of. And I think more importantly, the choice of those electives would be very, very important in terms of, for example, the prerequisites that you require to major in particular areas. So for example, you may want to major, let's say in finance and economics, there are particular modules that you need to take at second year in order to major in those, because those are the prerequisites. You cannot major at third year in particular modules, be it finance or economics or supply chain management or whatever else the case may be, if you haven't met the prerequisites. So the important point is that in terms of these 6 elective modules, in addition to the 2 core modules at second year level, you have to choose the right modules that would allow you, in terms of prerequisites, to take on the major modules at third year level. Furthermore, students who are registered for the BCom General Degree are required to register for and complete 2 times 64 credit majors. So you have your third year, you have semester 1 of your third year, you got 64 credits in semester 1 and 64 credits in semester 2. And you normally would have 4 modules in semester 1 that would comprise the 64 credits, and 4 modules in semester 2 that would add up to the 64 credits. So it's 2 times 64 credit modules consisting of level 3 modules. So they have to be level 3 modules. You can't take level 2 modules at third year level. And these modules, this is very, very important, have to be taken in the 2 disciplines from within the schools of management, IT and governance, accounting, and economics and finance. So that's very, very important to take note of. So your majors have to come from these important areas: School of Management, IT and Governance, and Accounting, Economics and Finance. The important point to take note of, ladies and gentlemen, is that the BCom degree offers you a multitude of different choices in terms of areas that you'd like to specialize in, areas that you'd like to get your majors in. For example, you have human resource management. So that's one of the specialist areas that you may decide you would like to major in and perhaps move on to a career in. So that's human resource management. The same thing can be said for supply chain management as another important area. It's a major at third year level. Marketing management also can be taken as a major at third year level. Management and entrepreneurship, for example, also can be taken as areas of specialization at third year level. Information systems and technology, economics and finance, and accounting. So the point is that at third year level, in a general BCom, you can decide to have a number of specializations. But obviously, you're going to have to keep it in terms of the first bullet point on the screen. You're going to have 2 times 64. So you may decide you'd like to go for, let's say, supply chain and marketing, or you'd like to go for economics and finance, for example, and so on and so forth. So that's very, very important information with regards to the BCom. What I'd also like to do, once I'm finished with the slides, I'd just like to look at the structure of the BCom in terms of a table that I would go through with you. But I'd just like to complete, as I said, I just want to go through this particular set of slides before I come to that. So that's very, very important information pertaining to the BCom General. As I also mentioned, within the School of Management, IT and Governance, we have the Bba degree, Bachelor of Business Administration. As I mentioned to you earlier on, Bachelor of Business Administration is part of what we call the SFTP program, the self-funded program. So it's offered not as part of the mainstream program. You attend lectures in the evenings. And the program for BBA comprises 8 modules at first year. So 4 modules semester 1, 4 modules semester 2, 8 modules at level 2, again 4, both semesters, and 8 at level 3. And the total credits for that degree would be 384. The BBA curriculum would include level 1 modules that would comprise of business management, economics, communication in business, management science, business accounting, computing, business law, and the basic isiZulu module for those who don't qualify for exemption. The second year of the BBA curriculum would comprise of modules covering areas like specialist areas that we talked about earlier on that are housed within the school of SMIG, human resource management, business accounting, information management, supply chain management, and marketing management. So that's second year of the BBA. Your third year, you have one major that's offered, which is business management, 64 credits, and the remaining 4 modules cover specializations in marketing, human resource management, supply chain management, and business tax. As I said, I'd like to take you through the specific modules on a table format. So I'll look at that just now once I've gone through all the different slides. And then within the school, we have the Badmin degree, Bachelor of Administration. And this degree would comprise 8 modules at first year level, 8 modules at second year level, 8 modules at third year level. And all these modules would have a total value of 384 credits. So you get degree complete when you've done your 384 that conforms to the module structure of this particular degree. The B-Admin degree would comprise of level 1 modules in subject areas such as public administration, economics, management, introduction to human resource management, management science, end-user computing, basic isiZulu. At second year, you have 4 specialist modules in the B-Admin degree. These are Introduction to Local Government, Introduction to Public Sector Financial Management, Introduction to Public Sector HRM, and Introduction to Public Policy Management. And the remaining 4 modules in second year are electives that are drawn from a list of approved modules in economics, HR management, responsible sustainable management, operations management, and entrepreneurship. Level 3 modules would comprise of 2 majors, namely public administration and a second year major from an approved discipline within the schools of SMIG and accounting. I'd just like to stress, having gone through the curricula for the programs that are offered within the School of Management, IT and Governance, I'd just like to emphasize on the point that you need to look very carefully at the college handbook in terms of rules, the curricula. If you decide, let's say, to go for a major in finance or a major in economics, that curricula is actually spelled out clearly in the handbook. So I'd like you please to bear that in mind. Also important, as I said, as you move on, second year, third year, you have prerequisites. So if you have a particular course in mind, a particular career path, if you want to go for, let's say, marketing, for example, please take note that in order to do majors in a specific area, you need to have prerequisites. So make sure that you clear about the prerequisites, you understand them, and you take those prerequisites. The other important thing is that you have the timetabling issue. Timetables or the timetable blocks are on the UKZN website, and I'd like you please to familiarize yourselves with the timetables. Lecture attendance, very, very important. I think it's in your best interest to attend your lectures. Also, lectures would have consultation times over Zoom, for example. So I'd like you also to take advantage of those consultation times. Academic leaders within the school are Professor Nodia, who represents marketing, supply chain management, Dr. van der Westhuizen for management, Dr. Yu Singh for ISTN, human resource management, Dr. Maraj, public administration, Prof. Mutareko, teaching and learning, Dr. Nwao. What is expected of you as students? Very, very important that you make sure that you read the module outline. So all the modules that you do, you would have a module outline that will be put on Learn. You've got to familiarize yourselves with these important issues. So you read the module outline, you understand what's expected of you, you know what's being covered in that particular module, you know what's expected in each course. Uh, you work consistently over the semester, you read the course material. Some courses would have prescribed material, some would have recommended material, for example. You need to go through those. Also be aware of current developments. Think in terms of how what you're doing in a particular program actually links to practice, for example. But what we try and teach students is application. So you have theory in a book. How does it apply? Be it in a marketing context or a supply chain or an HR context. How do you apply it in a simulated situation? So that is very, very important. Obviously, you need to prepare adequately for all your assessments, and each module would have assessments that are outlined very, very clearly. You need to be very clear on what's required, the due dates, etc., and prepare accordingly. You also need to be familiar with the percentage weighting of the class mark component and the exam mark component. So every course would have weightings. So you have assignments, you have tests, for example, and there would be a weighting allocation. I think it's very, very important for you to understand the weightings. Also understand the DP system, which we refer to as duly performed certificate. And in order to duly perform, there's certain requirements that you need to meet. Obviously, it differs from course to course. So you need to be familiar with that. Some would require that you need 40% on average for your assignments and your tests to write an exam, let's say. So you need to make sure that you meet that particular DP requirement. And of course, there's a whole lot of academic support that's provided to students, academic development officers, um, academic leaders, for example, administrators, demonstrators, lecturers, for example. You're strongly advised to make use of these support structures, student counselors, for example, and so on and so forth. I'd just like to, as I said earlier, just want to share the individual modules. So, for example, if you are doing a BCom General, as I said, the BCom General comprises 160 credits at first year. So you do 5 in semester 1, 5 in semester 2. You have Accounting 101, for example, semester 1, Economics 101, ISTN 101, Management 101, Maths 134. All that actually makes up the first semester. Semester 2, Accounts 102, Accounts 103. So you could do either or, depending where your interests actually lie. Obviously, if you want to pursue the accounting part, you advise to go the Accounting 102. If you just want to keep it general, you do the Accounting 103, Economics 102, ISTN 103, Laws 11C, Stats 130. So all that comprises your first year of the BCom General, 160 credits. Second year, as I said, your core modules. So core modules would be Management 2SM at second year, Zulu 101 for those who haven't been exempt. But if you've been exempt, you take a level 1 approved elective. I'd like you to take note that the handbook, the college handbook, has a list of electives. But also take note that depending which center you are, I'm looking at Westville, for example, but depending which center you are, Westville has a different set of electives to Pietermaritzburg. So please take note of that. So your electives, if you Pietermaritzburg, your electives need to come from the list under Pietermaritzburg. If you Westville, electives would come from the list under Westville. And then, as I said, at second year level, you have a choice. You have a number of modules. You're going to have to choose 6 from either semester. And these span economics, finance, marketing, HR, accounting, ISTN, laws, and so on. And your third year, as I said, would be 64 credits of third-year modules in a discipline from within the schools of accounting, economics, finance, or management, IT, and governance. So that's the BCom General. The BBA, for example, for Westville and Pietermaritzburg, 128 credits first year. You have a set number of courses, very structured degree. And again, you can refer to the handbook for curriculum information regarding the BBA. This is very structured. Second year also very structured. You have to do these modules. And third year also very, very structured. First year is 128, second year is 128, third year 128, 384 in total for the degree. And then you have the BCom Foundation, for example. The BCom Foundation is like the general. The only difference is that you're doing one extra year at level 1. So you have a set curriculum for BCom Foundation students at level 1, as you can see here. And after level 1, level 2 onwards, it's very much like the BCom general structure. So that's BCom 4, BCom Foundation. And the B admin, this is the B admin structure, 128 credit points at level 1. And the modules are outlined there. Level 2, you have very structured situation here in terms of core that you have to take, public administration modules, and then you have a choice. The balance of 64 has to come from that structure, and the balance can come from anywhere else within that particular context. And your third year would be 32 credits, third year modules, the discipline from economics, marketing management, supply chain management, 32 credits in second semester, third year modules in discipline from economics, marketing management, supply chain management, and PADMAN 3AO, PADM 3EO, PADM 3CI, and PADM 3DO. And that would total up to 128. So that's the structure of the different programs that we offer, different degrees within the school. As I said, the course outlines would give you this information, but it's important that you look at the handbook. The handbook for the college would outline all these important programs, and you can make your choices and be guided by this information. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that information, I'd like to stop here unless you have any questions. So I want to stop share and hand over to the chair. Thank you.
Okay, are there any questions for Dr. Soni? Okay, I don't see any hands. Okay, Dr. Soni, we also have, okay, there is one. Luyanda, go ahead. Followed by Helen. Luyanda, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you please share your PowerPoint presentation for the modules after this presentation? If you can maybe share that document you just went through. This one, yes.
Okay.
I don't know where you can share that one. The one you're on now, the foundation general. Okay. Yes. So does level 1 means first semester or level 1 means first year?
Level 1 is first year. So first year, there's a set curricula, as you can see here. So you have semester 1, so you have level 1, which is first year. And semester 1 would be Econ 1 CO, Math 194, Accounting 1 AL. That's first semester. And second semester would be Econ 1 DO, Management 1 SL. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
the structure. And
Okay.
that will total up to 112 credits.
Okay. No, so I understand. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And maybe just to add onto that, so for all students who are registered for the BCom Foundation program, we will have another orientation specifically for those students. So you will be getting more details about that program from us as well. Okay, so Dr. Soni, we also have, two prizes to be won. So you can ask, a question, and then, we'll try and find out who answers first. Dr. Soni?
All right. Can you give me the 2 important core modules that have to be taken at level 2 of the BCom General?
Peshego, can you help me, check in the chat who answered first?
Okay, I'm looking at them now.
Dr. Soni, may we have the right answers, please?
All right. It's Management 2SM and Zulu 101, or if exempted for Zulu 101, an approved level 1 elective. But if the answer that was given was Management 2SM and Zulu 101, I think we can accept that as well.
I think Fatima was the first one, Sanjay, to actually say responsible and sustainable management, and isiZulu.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
Okay, so we have one winner. I hope you are taking down the names, Befeko.
I think the person should just send their student number, name, and because here I see, oh, it's Fatima Zara. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Just take down the name, and then we'll follow up on that.
Okay, it's Fatima Zara. I noted.
All right, so now I don't see Adrian. Maybe you'll be joining us at 11:30 according to the program. While we're waiting for him, maybe Peshego, you could ask 2 more questions. We could give out 2 more prizes until 11:30. The clerk. Okay, Peshego, we are the only one here. Go ahead.
The questions only on the BCom General, right?
It can be anything from Monday, from what we covered from Monday. Fine.
Oh, okay. I think I'll just ask based on the the questions, because most of the people, I think they missed first day 1 and day 2. So I'll just ask based on the frequent questions. Okay, my first question is that, what do you use to log in on the thingy, on LAN? What do you use to log in on LAN? Which password do you use? I think the first person, okay, there are a lot of, okay, I can't keep up. The correct answer is LAN password, but I can't see who was the first. Because most people have been asking which password do we use? Do we create our own, but the correct answer is LAN password. Okay, I see. The first person to answer it was Mohammed, let me get the, Mohammed Dawood. That was the first person to get the answer correct. Yes, the answer is LAN password. You use your LAN password. When you're using your LAN password, the username, you put in your student number, and the password is your LAN password, the very same password that you use when you're accessing your student emails. Sorry, Dr. Anna, what's the price? Is it the book, or I mean, say the voucher for book, or the Nando's?
It's the Nando's voucher.
Okay. So yeah, the Nando's voucher will go to Mohammed Dawood.
All right. Okay. Maybe let me share this presentation as well while we're waiting for the School of Law. So as we mentioned from Monday, our first year experience program is multimodal. In addition to the seminars that we have, that we will have weekly, including this 4-week of orientation, we also have a Moodle site where most of the content and most of the questions that you are asking, actually the answers are on that Moodle site. So this PowerPoint presentation that I have is just to help you how to access that Moodle site. Okay, so, these are the preferred browsers, Google Chrome, Firefox, or Explorer. Those are the sites that you can use. You need to go to this website to access the FYE course. You type in that, address, https://fye.ukzn.ac.za. These slides, you should have received them by now from your mentors, for those of you who have been allocated to mentors. Okay, and then you select the FYE course when you get to that slide, to that site. You need to use your address, that is the UKZN email address. You cannot use your Gmail. You cannot use any other Yahoo or whatever. You need to use the UKZN email that you provided. The login is your student number. If you don't know your login, you must click on forgot password, and a link will go to your email used in the application. Right? You enter your student number. Those are the steps. You click on forgotten password and a link will be sent to your email address. And that is the FYE course. In this course, it has got 4 sections. The first section is the orientation part. It covers all these issues. And I know some of you are asking us questions about data, ICS, all of that information is there. We have a whole section on digital literacy. We have a whole section on some of the data queries that you have, who to contact if you need any help with, like your LAN password, any help with your email, any help with anything related to ICS. All that information is there. There's also information on the different support services that are available at UKZN. that are available at UKZN, including some of the content that we have covered so far. This site is self-paced, which means you can take it during your own time. You don't have to complete everything in one day, but we encourage you to complete the first section by, I would say, preferably the end of this month, because most of the information that is in section 1 is information that you're going to need to support you, with your registration, downloading your timetable and so on. Yeah, and then section B, which is section 2, will be on the academic skills. It will start from the 1st of March up to the end of the semester. So section 1 is very important, and I urge you, if you haven't been to the site, please do so. Most of the information that we have covered in these sessions is also available in those sessions. Okay, and then there are some who are asking about mentors. They haven't received any communication from the mentors. Yes, one of the challenges that we have, some students here, I've noticed some are not from our college. They are from, humanities and so on. And also for those of you who have sent me emails, can you also send me the program that you are registered in? For instance, is it accounting? Is it finance? Is it law? So that we allocate you a mentor from that particular school. We don't want students who are doing finance to have a mentor from law, and those who are doing law to end up having a mentor, maybe say from accounting. So please send us further details of the program that you registered in, and then you will be allocated the right mentor. So that's why there have been delays in terms of allocating mentors to some of you, because we didn't have the details of the programs that you are registered in. Okay, Pefego, I see your hand is up.
Dr. Anna, just to add what you're saying regarding the mentors, the details that they should send when they're sending emails is your name, surname, student number, the qualification you're registered for or you're registering for, and also your cell number. Please, those 5 details, they could help us in allocating you for the mentor. And make sure that the number that you're sending us, can it please be your WhatsApp number, if you do have WhatsApp?
All right, so now we move on to the School of Law. Over to you, Adrian.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So hi, everybody. I'm not, this is the first time I've been involved in one of these things, so I need to just receive a little bit of guidance about what it is people want and need to know. But all I can say is that for those of you who will be starting law, really what it boils down to is we are on a different campus to the rest of the college. So it's going to be a little bit difficult and different for all of you, practically speaking, when we are back to face-to-face, which is probably going to be, and hopefully will be relatively soon. We're in the Howard College building on the Howard College campus with a view that overlooks the harbour and the sea. So we got lucky. And it does mean that our program operates very differently to the other programs in the college. So the way it works with you guys, everybody starting law, is that the curriculum for the Llb degree is cast in stone. It's a very, very, very set and defined curriculum. You have to get 520 credit points over a course of 4 years. So that's in 8 semesters, and you have to do certain subjects in a specific order. So you have to set out from the beginning and follow very, very, very closely the rules that you have to comply with in order to make sure you follow your way all the way through. I'm not going to bore you and put up a flash, quick 30-second view of a document, but I can tell you, and I'll just open it and read the beginning to you. It's, we have a couple of documents which will go onto the Learn platform. So every single subject that you registered for will have access to these subjects. So the moment you start, you'll be able to follow this. The first document is called Monitoring Your Registration Details and Academic Performance, Teaching and Learning School of Law. And it's just basically a 2-page document that just sets out in very easy to follow language how things work and which subjects you have to do and when you have to do them. So it's all set out there, telling you that you have to choose 7 non-legal subjects of 16 credit points each, and it's spelt out in very, very simple language. I know if you listen to somebody tell you this over a computer, it goes in one ear and out the other. Well, it does for me. And you're not in a position to take detailed notes, and it's too quick. So it's much better just to have a look at this document. It's all set out there, very, very easy to follow. It tells you that if you've got a subject that you passed at another university, it tells you exactly who to apply to and what paper to give so that you don't have to do the subject again. It tells you how many subjects you can do per semester, and it specifies what they are. So it's very, very simple. It's right there. And the nice thing about it is that at the bottom of it, it's got the contact details of the 3 people in the law school who manage and control and will organize all of these things. And those are myself, my details are there, Adrian Bellinger, my deputy on the Howard College campus, Mrs. Claudinia Stevens, and my deputy on the Pietermaritzburg campus, Mr. Darren Subramanian. And we, between the 3 of us, can deal with just about any query that you have about the law degree itself. That is what we specialize in. It's what we've done collectively between us for about, I think we're talking about 40 years worth of collective experience managing this kind of thing. So just get in touch. So that's the first thing that's useful. And the second thing that's useful and that you guys need to know is that what we've done is we've put together something called an information booklet. And this booklet's also uploaded onto Learn. It's got a nice green heading, and it's headed information booklet for students. And it gives you everything you need to know about being a student in the law school. So it tells you what our values are. It tells you all the touchy fuzzy feely stuff at the beginning that you can gloss over. And then it tells you a whole lot of useful things, like we give you the emergency numbers and contact numbers for the people on the Howard College campus and the Maritzburg campus, which is where you will be, for risk management services, for suicide helpline, for Lifeline, for the SAPS, and various other things. It tells you what we do and how we try and help you for if you have a disability, and we've got the names of the people who will and the addresses and the telephone numbers and the email addresses of all the people in the unit who will help you. It tells you about communications and how to, if you've got a question, who to speak to. So you'll be introduced to the concept of a class representative, and then going to the lecturer, and then to the module coordinator, and it's all set out there. So if ever you have a problem and something pops up and you say, what do I do about this? You just open this document and there it is. It tells you, oh, this is the person to speak to, and it's all there. So it's very, very useful. And I mean, I wish I'd had one when I was a student. For those of you who plan ahead, and for those of you who are inclined to panic, and you're worried about the exams that you're facing, this little booklet also tells you exactly how assessments are conducted. So you get the different categories of assessments, how it's done, and what you have to do. And it just gives you some guidelines there. If you're sick and you can't make your assessment and you need some sort of accommodation because, as I said, you couldn't make it, it tells you how to go about applying for an IGRITAT as well. So again, absolutely everything you need is there. It does tell you a little bit about making sure you don't cheat and that kind of stuff, but that's a document that I think you guys will find quite useful and helpful as you go along. So that's the kind of basic background. There are other pieces of paper and there's other documents and things, but they're for more detailed and complex things. At this stage, that's probably the thing that you need to know. Those are the things you need to know about the most. Now, I can see there's a whole lot of questions in chat, so I'm not 100% sure where I start and which ones are for law or not. So for LLB queries, send your name, student number. Okay, are you able to log in to Learn when you're not registered? No, you have to register, I think. How do you choose your modules? You don't choose your module. Your modules are chosen for you. The law says you have to do, and it gives you a list, and they tell you very specifically what modules you have to do. So it's all on the system. So there's no difficulty there. You do have, in your very first year, you do have a little bit of discretion because we don't want people to do a law degree and not be able to do anything else. So you will find that you have to do some, what we call non-legal modules, modules that aren't about law. Those non-legal modules are great. You get to choose those. You do 7 of them. So you can choose 7 subjects that interest you. 2 of them have to, however, be English. 2 of them have to be English. So you have to choose 2 English modules, any 2 English modules that the university offers. So you just have a look at all the lists of subjects offered by humanities, and you choose 7 subjects that spin your windmill, making sure that 2 of them are English. And that's what you do. And I see somebody said, what exactly is the 16 credit English module exemption? Very, very, very basically, what that says is that if you got over 80% for English in your matric, then you don't have to do 2 English modules. You only have to do 1 English module. Okay, and you replace the one that you don't have to do with another module of some other subject. So you're going to have to do, everybody has to do 7 non-legal subjects, 7 sort of first year level subjects: classics, philosophy, politics, sociology, criminology, I don't know, music, drama, whatever spins your windmill, as I said. 2 of them have to be English, unless you got over 80% for English and matric, in which case you get an exemption for 1. You don't have to do 2 English modules, you only have to do 1 English module. Is that clear, Jordan, I think? Our contact details, you'll get them, and they're also all available on the law school's website and everything. As a first year LLB student, can I do History 104 and History 105 as electives in the first and second semester respectively? Yes, you can. Of course, subject to the people in history saying yes. I'm not sure how the Department of History works, because it's a different school and it's a different college. But generally speaking, if your marks are good enough to get you into LLB, then your marks are good enough to get you into most of the humanities modules. But you need to approach the people in history and say, hi, I'd like to do history. You just do it online. I'm pretty sure that they're not full at this stage, so I'm sure that history is a good one. So my question was posted on Q&A at 10:13. That doesn't help me. Sorry, Christopher, post it again. How do we contact for exemption for the English module? When you register, you simply have to make sure that your matric certificates, which are all uploaded, and you will just simply ask when your registration, you can put it there that you need it for the exemption. And don't worry, if there is a problem and there's an issue with the exemption, then you just email me or Mrs. Stevens or Darren, Dr. Subramanian, and we will deal with it. Is it possible to take Sociology 102 if you didn't take Sociology 102? I think what you mean is, can you take 102 if you didn't take 101? That you have to speak to the people in sociology. If they have a rule that 101, then 102, then you can't. If they have a rule that says they're discrete courses, then you can. So I'm a lawyer, not a sociologist, unfortunately. So although there is an overlap, so I can't tell you what the rules are. Do we pick modules in the first year law that have a link to the modules we choose in our second year? Well, your non-legals are done in your first year. In your second year, you'll be doing law subjects. So the subjects you do in your first year are things to broaden your education, and you'll struggle to find ones that have a link to law. So you'll be able to do English, you'll be able to do philosophy, politics, as I said, be able to do criminology, things like that. But in your second year law, you're going to be doing interpretation of laws, human rights, family law, criminal law, constitutional law, delict. So you won't find any humanities non-legal subjects that set you up for those. You will, if you go about it carefully, find humanities subjects that encourage you to research, encourage you to think, encourage you to read. And then those are the skills that we are looking for you to bring into your second year so you can tackle your second year law subjects properly. Do we need to take both isiZulu in both modules? I don't know what you mean by isiZulu in both modules. Do you mean in both semesters? The answer there is that everybody has to do for one of their non-legals isiZulu. However, if you have already, if you are Zulu speaking, then you get an exemption. So you don't have to do it. You just get to do another subject instead. So you only have to do one Zulu course. It's compulsory for every degree offered at the university. You don't have to do more than one. I have a previous degree, humanities, psych and stock majors. I see LLB first year semester courses are not all law related, some are humanities. I think I probably answered this. But you want to know what credits you will get. You will get credits if you've done 7 non-legals, 2 of which are English, then you'll get credit for 7 non-legals, including the English. If you need to do Zulu, then you'll have to, you'll get credit if you've done it. If it's an exemption, you'll get credit as an exemption. So you will probably get, provided you've got the English modules covered, Lungile, is it Lung? Your name is cut off, so I can't see. You'll find that you'll get the credits. So there's no difficulty there. Do I have to take Zulu even if I did it in high school as a home language? If you have an exemption according to the university rule, then you don't. And when will you know what textbooks to purchase? Once you register, you'll get a learn page for every subject. That subject learn page will have on it the course outline, which says this is who your lecturer is. This is an outline of the subjects that we're covering. This is an outline of the information that we're going to be looking at. And here is a list of the books that you need to have access to or need to look at. So you'll get that on your course outline. Every subject in law has a course outline, and the course outline is uploaded. And that a rule in our law school is that the course outline will specify the materials for the course and any books that you need. If you want to change your selected module, I did not know about that. You just go online and you do a change of curriculum. It's not very difficult. I think you'll find that the university guidelines have got them. I know that whenever a law student contacts me, I email them just the short page that tells you how to go about doing a change of curriculum. So it shouldn't be too difficult at all. Bianca, just see, same as Shivani, change of curriculum. Okay, what is the difference between CFSD 101 and 102? Well, that I can't tell you because I don't know what CFSD is. It's not law, so it must be a humanities subject. So Amanda, can you tell me what that is? CFSD, and then I'll be able to tell you. So I'll wait for you to let me know when it pops up. I see Prim has given everybody the details that's there. When will the modules for LLB reflect on Moodle? Should we wait for the school to upload? Yes, you should. For the Zulu module, do we have to do it in the first year, and for how long? The Zulu module is 1 semester, and it doesn't have to be in the first year. We do have some students who get things wrong and end up not doing it, and then because in second year there's a gap for one non-legal. And so we kind of sometimes use that non-legal gap for people to catch up and slot in the Zulu module if they overlooked it. So it's kind of like a built-in safety net. So don't panic, Christopher. You'll get it first year, or you can do it in the or in that one slot that we have in second year. So you've got, as I said, you've got a safety net. 101 and 102, that's a humanities rule, and that's how they describe their modules. So for me, I've always worked on the basis that 101 is first semester and 102 is second semester. So generally speaking, that is the rule. Some humanities subjects, be careful, they do offer them in both semesters if there's large numbers, so you might find that it's available, but generally speaking, that's a good answer. The timetable on Moodle as well, yes, the law school has its own timetable, but you guys, you only have to do 2 law subjects in first year, so your timetable will be the humanities timetable, which is available. So you have a look at that. I've answered somebody's question right, I've been realizing, so I'm very happy there. Do we have to do academic literacy or English studies? You have to do 2 English modules. So it could be academic learning in English, it could be English 101, English 102, English 1A, English 1B, English Intro to English Studies, whatever the English department is calling their subjects this year, you've got to do 2 of those. Okay, and then the textbook list is available, I've answered that. Are we able to contact them for the textbook? Answered that. Can I get in from the modules that are offered first years? Humanities. Because it's all humanities, and those are the ones you're choosing, Christopher, you have to go to the humanities, the College of Humanities, and they've got everything uploaded. There is, and also I'll tell you a little trick. There is something called a college handbook, which nobody ever reads, but which we all spent years putting together. And every college's website's got the college handbook there, and the college handbook is almost impossible to read. But if you do have a look at it, it gives you like a minute breakdown of every single subject. So it's actually quite useful because not only does it tell you that English 101 is an English module, it will actually tell you a little bit how many lectures, how many tutorials, and give you a breakdown of what's covered in that module. So that college handbook is like a well-kept secret, but it's a useful thing for finding out details about subjects. How many, and the last question is, it's criminology and forensics. Okay, criminology and forensics. So the question was, is it 101 and 102 or something? What is the question about? Let me just drill back up to the CFSD one. What's the difference between them? There we go. If it's criminology, contact the criminology department. They'll tell you. Okay, I don't know. I didn't do criminology. I didn't exist as a discipline when I was a student. I'm that old. For the first semester, how many modules do you have to do at law? When you're doing first year, you do 1 law module in the first semester and you do one law module in the second semester. It's the only module there is. There is no choice. It's specified for you, so don't panic about which one you have to do. It's preordained that you do the one that is, it is the only one. So don't worry about it. Intro to law and foundations. Okay, or introductory legal studies and aspects. For the first semester, how many modules? There we go, done. And the college, oh, there we go, the college handbook, there's the link to it, guys. That's incredibly efficient. So thanks so much. There you go. So, sir, may I ask, if you're not sure if you chose the correct modules, where may you double check? Do you not have a, you're not sure whether you chose the ones that you should, or you're not sure whether the ones you chose you're happy with? So the answer to that is you just look at your registration to see what you chose. There's nothing wrong as long as you've got your English modules, your Zulu module if you have to do it, and that you've got the 2 law modules on it. That's how you check. It's there. So no problem at all. Just yeah. And if you have a problem and it turns out that something's wrong, email us. Anything else?
Adrian, there's some law questions on the Q&A.
Okay, where do I find that? Oh, there we go. I see them. Thanks, Shelley. Hi, Shelley. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Good. Very well. So I don't know about, I have a previous degree. I've answered that one. That's come up again. Would I get a link to the law document mentioned? I'm not sure what document that is, but the links were put up. Who do you contact if you're successfully registered for BCom accounting? Not for me. Can we get mentors if we're registered? I mean, accepted to BBA. That's not me. Cfsd in 1 or 2. Yes, you can. That's going back to the criminology question. Somebody said it's the same module and be done in a different semester. Then ask if that's the case and criminology have called the same module a different thing. Then speak to criminology directly. Use that handbook and speak to them directly to find out. Moodle is just the term that we use for the online sort of page. It's part of the Learn UKZN 2022, and it's the program where all the work is done, where you submit your work, where your Zoom meetings are scheduled and all that kind of thing. Academic literacy and English studies. Academic literacy is for people who are struggling with English studies. It depends on which course you do, different areas of interest and focus. Can you do a BCom degree and then do a 2-year LLB? Not anymore, and at Westville, because your BCom is at Westville, and so you can't do the law subjects. But in Maritzburg, where the BCom and the law degree are offered on the same campus, you can, I think, still do a BCom and LLB. If you made a problem in registering the wrong modules, you do a change of curriculum or you contact us. Okay. How will classes start if we've not received laptops or data? That is a physical question that doesn't relate to law, so I'm afraid I'm not in a position to answer that one. And then back to, thanks, Shelley. So there's the Q&A ones.
There's one that was quite early on at 10:08 from Pabala Rantai.
10:08, so I've got to go right back up to the top. 10:00. I don't see it in the chat in the Q&A.
It's in the Q&A. It's this 1, 2, 3.
Mine goes 9:18 to 11:23. Let me just see if it's in the answered.
10:08. It hasn't been answered.
What's the
it
question?
Says, what is the difference between Intro to isiZulu and Basic isiZulu Studies, and which one is advisable for the LLB degree?
It doesn't matter which one you do for the LLB degree, as long as you have a Zulu module. I don't know what the difference is for those, because they're not run and administered by the law school at all. That's a university-wide blanket decision. So I'm afraid I'm not in a position to answer that.
And then another one asked, what's the difference between psychology and sociology?
Well, you're talking to a lawyer, so I'm not answering definitively for humanities, but I thought psychology, from what I can recall from having done it 30 years ago, was where you looked at what went on inside your head, and sociology was where you looked at how society hung together, as a brief summary. That if somebody can offer a shorter, more succinct and more accurate description, that would be great.
That sounds good. Then someone has a previous degree, a humanities degree in psychology and sociology, and they've been accepted for LLB.
I saw that one.
I think you've answered this.
I've answered that one.
Credited for some previous ones, yeah.
Yeah, I've answered that one. They'll get credit for all the non-legals they did, but they have to be very careful. You know, saying I've done it before, therefore I don't have to do it, keeps your own mind happy, but it doesn't satisfy anybody else. What you have to do is you have to bring your transcript through to the law school and send it to Ms. Ahmad, who will then look at your transcript and capture it on the system so that when you get your law transcript and it looks, you've got the text next to it. So it doesn't happen automatically by osmosis, just because you think it happens. You actually have to say, listen, I've done these subjects before, please may I apply for an exemption, and then your exemption will be done. And as I said, that little document which I put up with all the information has got the relevant stuff there. But that's not something you have to do right away. You can send that through. We're busy capturing exemptions for everybody who's done a prior degree and who's starting law this year. So we're doing 100 of those at the moment. So yeah, it will be a relatively painless task. You just have to provide us with your transcript. So there's somebody wanted to, how do I choose the type of law that specifically want to do? Family law, you don't. You don't get to choose. That's not how it works. As I said right at the beginning, your law degree is 520 credits, and the modules, all the law modules are specified. We tell you which subjects you have to do and what order you have to do them in. So you have to do family law, you have to do constitutional, and you have to do criminal law. You don't get to choose. So there's no speciality kind of thing at this stage. When you get to your final year, your fourth year of your law degree, we do have a range of small elective subjects, and you can choose between doing cyber law, gender in the law, intellectual property, and environmental law. But that's a fourth year thing. It's not really a specialization, but it does give you a focus and greater depth on a range of subjects. But that's the only time that you're going to be faced with a choice, and that's 3-4 years away for you now. Psychology, somebody's put up a nice definition, which pretty much is what I said, but more elegant. My email address has been posted already. So there you go. Are there anything new in the Q&A? And then part-time space available for Bachelor of Laws, I plan on changing. That's an interesting one. Law is a degree which we offer part-time, in the sense that if you are holding down a full-time job, you can register to do classes in the evenings. You do it over 2 years longer than you would normally do an LLB, because you do fewer classes every semester. I think you have a maximum of 48 credits, not 64, so it takes a bit longer. It's not funded by NSFAS, so bear that in mind if you are going to be switching, but it is very useful if you're trying to earn a living and hold down a job. And if you want to look at the part-time program, it is all available on the law school's website, but I will tell you that the person is Mr. Sean Kruger. So that's the person to contact. And I think it's Kruger at Kruger S or Kruger at, I'll just check for you right now. I just got to find his email address and I'll tell you. Sean is very helpful. It's Kruger S at UKZN ACZA. So I can put that in the okay, there you go. Can I do both English literacy and English studies when doing an LLB? As long as you do 2 English modules, it doesn't matter what they're called, okay? Is it advisable to take psychology for LLB? What would the decision be? That decision is based on personal preference. It's very difficult to say that one is better or not. I did psychology and I don't know whether it helped me or not. I did sociology. I still can't even remember what it was. I did an entire degree before doing an LLB, so I had lots of different subjects. I can say that some evidence from the past was that the students that did philosophy and enjoyed it tended to make better law students at the end of the day. But that is a long time ago. Those figures were when it was compulsory to do a degree. We used to find that The finalists in our moot court competition at fourth year quite often were students who had done philosophy as a major when they'd done an undergrad degree. So I don't know whether philosophy 1 will meet that kind of, be that of that kind of value. I doubt it. I think it was the combination of having done it for 3 years that made people better lawyers. But really, it's purely a question of personal preference. If you have an interest in the classics, go and do something in ancient civilization. It will be much more exciting than law. If you've got an interest in languages, do French or Spanish, or if we still offer them. If you've got an interest in criminology, whatever that may be, then try that. So it is an opportunity for you to do something that will interest you and that will broaden your mind, because that will be useful in making you a better lawyer. Okay, it's not necessarily the content of the subject, it's the effect that the subject has on you. Is it advisable to choose English in the elective modules BA PPL? Listen, you know, the BA PPL just means that you are doing a program that includes philosophy and politics and law. The rule that you have to have 2 English modules applies to you as well. So yes, it is advisable to choose English during your BA PPL, because when you get into your LLB, we will not graduate as a lawyer unless you've got 2 English modules. So yeah, it is definitely advisable. I would factor it into your plans right now. Then there was one other question I saw at the bottom. I did English and Xhosa. Do I have to choose Zulu or ACLE for BCom? Okay, I want to go medical law. Do we do LLB law or BCom law? Well, it depends on what you want to do in medical law. If you want to be somebody who focuses on ethics, it doesn't really matter what you do. If you want to be a lawyer who specializes in medical law, then you have to have an LLB degree. So that's the LLB answer there. I don't know from the anonymous attendee how you request for or reverse a request for assistance. I'm not sure about that. There we go. Curious as to whether there's any other information, any other stuff you would like to know. Have I missed something, Shelley? You seem to be much more adept at keeping track on multiple screens than me, but I think, what's the difference between Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of Politics, Philosophy and Law? So first one, apply for law internships in your first year. That's a personal preference. You'll find that if there's lots of people applying for internships, the law firms will probably take people with a little bit more experience. But if somebody offers you an internship in your first year of law and you're going to go and spend 2 weeks working in a law firm during a holiday, I think it's a great idea. Go for it, because you'll see what law is really like, and you're in your first year, so it won't be too late for you to change to something more interesting, exciting, and fulfilling. So yeah, go and see at the beginning. So if you can, go for it. A Bachelor of Laws is a 4-year dedicated LLB degree. You have to have a Bachelor of Laws if you want to become a lawyer. The Bachelor of Politics, Philosophy and Law is a BA degree. Okay, so it won't get you into law and it won't make you a lawyer. It's a BA degree, but you choose between legal studies, politics, and philosophy as your majors. Okay, and when you've done your Bachelor of PPL, Bachelor of Arts PPL, Politics, Philosophy, and Law, when you've done that, and if you do well, then you can apply and do an LLB after that. Your LLB will be shorter because you would have done some of the subjects doing your BA PPL. So it takes 2 years off the degree. But we can't become a lawyer without an LLB. So that's the difference. I can't see much else. I think that's basically it. Is there anything else anybody would like to add, or any other questions before I call it quits? Well, welcome, Cornelia. Anything else? Anna, is that of some assistance and use?
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, colleagues, for the brilliant presentations. I'm sure our students have gained quite a lot because they've been asking us these questions for the past two days. Okay, so before you leave, Adrian, we have 2 prizes to be won. So you can ask them any questions, and the first one to answer will get a Nando's voucher worth 200 rands. So back to you, Adrian.
Sorry, Anna, I'm trying to juggle three different things. I just thought that there was one more question that somebody had asked, which was how long to specialize for criminal law. So I just thought that they should just let them know there's no such thing as specializing in criminal law. It's one of the subjects that you'll do during the LLB. And once you've completed your degree and started working, that's when you can just start to specialize. And then the clash of subjects is that you have to look at the timetable that humanities has created to see whether history will interrupt philosophy or not. So humanities has got a timetable with timetable blocks, and and you'll be able to choose according to those. I think most humanities subjects are repeated in different blocks, so there's a lot of leeway with regards your timetable choice. Sorry, Anna, sorry, what was your question? I was trying to read at the same time. Can you be an advocate with an LLB degree?
Okay, I was saying we have 2 prizes to give away. So, yes, so you can ask the students any questions based on the presentation. The first ones to answer will get a Nando's voucher with 200 rands.
So I've got to make up a question.
Yes.
Short, sharp question. Okay. The LLB degree is 4 years, and you have to get how many credits over the course of those 4 years? There we go. You've got somebody with the 520, which is correct. Somebody said 600. That's ambitious.
I think 90 so was the first.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's in the list. 5.
Yeah, 90 so was the first one to answer.
Yeah, this is sort of quickest on the buzzer. It's like a TV game show. Anna, do you want me to ask? Is there another question?
Yes, you can ask a second one.
I can ask a second one. Let's see. I'm just trying to think of something that's a bit more difficult than that. I'm impressed. The people are going to answer this quickly for the rest of their law degrees. It's going to make my life very, very happy, because when I ask a question in class, I see 120 blank screens and nobody answers anything. Let's see. And if you're going to complete your law degree, the minimum amount of time, how many semesters is that? Yeah. And if it's part-time? No, it's not 4 semesters. No, it's not 12 semesters. 12 is wrong. It's 8, correct. 8 semesters.
Diana Naidu was the first one to answer.
There we go.
Is it 8?
Yes, it's 8.
Okay, Diana Naidu.
Yeah. And then there was, sorry, and there's one person who asked a question right at the end saying, can you be an advocate with an LLB degree? You cannot be an advocate without an LLB degree. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
There you go. Cool.
Thank you, colleagues, for taking the time to meet with our students. I'm pretty sure, like I said earlier, they have benefited from this session. And students, our academics, they've given us their contact details, some in the charts. You can also find their details on the website. If there are any further questions that you might want to ask, you can always, please feel free to contact them. Tomorrow's session, we're going to be focusing mainly on the ICS issues. Most of you had questions related to ICS, so please do attend tomorrow's session. Again, we're going to have, a number of prizes to be won, and also, most of your questions related to ICS data, laptops, and so on are going to be answered in tomorrow's session. Shelley, Patty, is that a new hand?
Yes, Anna, if you don't mind, I just noted a lot of questions as well on the issue of timetabling. And of course, timetabling also affects your registration, because the block system, you have to select subjects, not only select the subject, but also select the block. I just wanted you to confirm with the students, when will you be covering the timetable block system and how to set up a timetable? And if so, when? I know if I can just say to the School of Accounting students, it is covered in our orientation guide. And I know I see Adrian's just popped off, but I also know it's in the law orientation guide. So when the students get the orientation guides, either through the mentor or through the web page, then you will be able to see there some instructions on how to set up your timetable. But the block system and the timetabling, Anna, my understanding was there was a session on that. Have you done it already, or when will you be doing that?
Okay, so that session is on Friday. That's when we're going to cover. It's going to be a practical session. We'll do practical demonstrations of how to download the timetable on Friday. But also, as you say, that information is there in the guides, the orientation guides. It's also there on the FYE website. So you can visit the FYE website. You can, go through your orientation guide for your school, or you can come on Friday for the practical demonstration.
Okay, so if I can also just make a quick point then, that if you are trying to register before then and you are concerned with the block system, the only thing you really need to know is that you can't select two modules in the same semester in the same block. So if you select ACCT 101 in block A or block B, for example, I don't know what blocks, there's a couple of blocks because it's a module with more than one group, but if you select one subject in block A, you can't select another subject in the same block. So that's the basic rule that you need to know when you are online and you're trying to select your modules. Make sure that within one semester, you don't have overlapping blocks, because that means that your subjects will have the same timetable, and obviously you can't have that. So that's just the one main rule that you need to know about timetables and blocks when you're doing your registration. But how to actually set up your timetable, then Anna has explained, it's in the orientation guides, but there's also going to be a practical session on Friday to show you how to do that. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Patsy. If there are no more questions, I think we've come to the end of our program for today. We'll see you again tomorrow when we deal with the ICS issues. Remember to register for the webinar on the links that have been provided in the chat section or on the website. Thank you.